Look, I'm gonna be real with you guys. I'm feeling under the weather. I wasn't planning on uploading today. I was doing my laundry, my bedding, everything to say that I did not plan on this video. But I got one comment on the most recent hero deck profile that I made that is the most head-ass comment I've ever seen from a hero player. And I've seen some foul stuff. Maybe this just triggered me to make this video because it's like, I felt like my explanation comment was pretty forward and pretty easy to understand, but I'm gonna make this perfectly clear. That way I won't get this again. Am I tilted? Am I a little hungy? Maybe. A little hangy? Maybe. But let's talk about this comment. Yo, what's up, boys and girls? It's your boy Swolelax here, and I'm back at it again with another video. This time something just a little bit different. Today, I didn't actually plan on making this discussion, but let's talk about a hero lives within Master Duel specifically. I want to preface inside of Master Duel specifically because this is where the context of this discussion comes up. We're not talking about a hero lives inside of the TCG. We're not talking about it in the OCG. We're not talking about its power level there. Is it related? Yes, of course it is, because it's Yu-Gi-Oh! But it's different from game to game, at least right now, until the ban lists are similar, until the card pool is similar, and until the format is similar. That is not the case. And let's go over why that is. So, what is the comment that destroyed my mind? So just completely and utterly destroyed me off the chizang. Let me go to the video. Boop, boop, boop. There's me. For context, I posted a video of what deck I took into Plat 1 this season, which was Hero, and I decided to exclude a Hero Lives. So I got a comment thread on that, and I thought I explained it pretty well, but let me go over that comment thread and then let's me expand. Sorry if I missed in the video, but was there a reason for not to run a Hero Lives? Very normal question, very respectful question, and it is something that I forgot to bring up, just completely forgot to bring up. Let's go over my response. You didn't miss it. Thank you for asking this, because honestly, I forgot to mention it in the profile, but TLDR, I think Hero Lives is not great in this game. Similar to Plasma, because it is pretty much random best of ones, depending if you do go first or second, and when going first, the card is amazing. Trades with Ash at worst, and though it costs at 4K, and at best, it's Dark Claw plus normal hero board, so absolute zero other shenanigans. Very strong. However, going second, the card is much less powerful against established boards, and because Floodgates are everywhere, most of the time you'd activate it, pay 4K, and then get met with Skill Drain or Imperial Order, etc. Even when going first though, because Numeron and other OTK strategies like Grenmaju are very popular, even if it all goes well, you're probably going to get hit with a Lava Golem or Kaiju and then OTK'd faster than if you were to never have activated it. Plus, it's a UR, so it do be pricey. Not a bad card, but for my preference, I decided to cut it. Now this, to me, seemed like a very mild-mannered response. I thought this would be sufficient in explaining as to why I did not play Hero Lives inside this season. There's a few other reasons too, but this was the main thing. Like I said, I think it's not super great going second, and because this game is somewhat random with that, it can be difficult to play this card. But someone replied to my comment saying this. Sorry, this is a horrific take on heroes. AHL, because apparently we're acronyming a Hero Lives now, is perhaps the best starter in our deck, and literally 99% of competitive hero players will say so. It's so good it's been limited to 1 in the TCG for years and just recently lifted to 2. All hero decks you see in tourneys or high ladder run it at 3, and promoting something like eCall over AHL is straight up misleading people not familiar with the deck. And I responded to that, hard disagree, be prepared, and now we're recording this video. Okay, so let's break down what they're arguing. First and foremost is that 99% of competitive hero players would say this card is good. That part is true. I do agree with this. I never said a Hero Lives was a bad card. I just think that it's not necessarily super great inside of Master Duel, and that becomes important. In addition to that, yeah, it was limited into the TCG for years, but that's not because AHL is overpowered. That's just because Konami was somewhat afraid of the hero engine. I mean, hell, Stratos was at 1 up until like 2 years ago. And if you guys remember, Stratos was then put to 2 and then unlimited. So now to talk about why the card was limited is not necessarily to say something about a Hero Lives itself, because you have to understand that the ban list, whether it be forbidden, limited, semi-limited, is usually attuned and adjusted for a certain meta. This should be obvious to not only hero players, but to any Yu-Gi-Oh player as a whole. you shouldn't look at the ban list and say, wow, this card is broken and it will always be broken. You should look at that and be like, is this card going to be good inside of this meta? If the answer is it's going to break the meta, then it probably should stay banned. And if the answer is, well, it's probably not that great inside of this meta, then you could probably start to release it back. This is basic R&D fundamentals. Essentially, this big team at Konami looks at cards inside of the meta, inside of the ban list, inside the pool of Yu-Gi-Oh! And says, okay, what if this card came back at 3, came back at 2? What if we put this card to 1? How would that interact with the current card pool? And so limiting the hero lives to 1 does not necessarily say something about the power level of a hero lives itself, but rather the power level of a hero lives within the given meta and within the given consistency of hero decks at the time in which it was limited. And more recently, it was listed at 2, and I think in the future and more recently, we will probably be seeing it listed at 3. This is because, I believe, that Konami sees this card as not that powerful anymore. Not to say that's not a powerful card, it's just that Heroes as an engine isn't really doing anything right now in the meta. And this is exclusively in the TCG. Reminder that in Master Duel, this card is at 3. The last part is that all hero decks and tourneys are at higher ladder will run it at 3. And again, I think that's perfectly fine. Most things inside of Yu-Gi-Oh! Are personal preference and personal deck choices. What do you want to accomplish with your deck? How do you want to accomplish with your deck? These things are important to know, and for, like I said, my preference is I decided to cut the card. It's fine and you can play it. And I'm not promoting E-Call over the A Hero Lives card just because I'm playing E-Call versus A Hero Lives. I frankly stated that E-Call was used as a substitute for more Stratos because I don't have more Stratos. In fact, if I had more Stratos and if I had more Vion, those 2 E-Call slots would be replaced by 1 Stratos and 1 Vion. They still would not be replaced with A Hero Lives. There's no disagreement that A Hero Lives is a powerful card, but I'm not promoting E-Call as a way to mislead people saying it's better than A Hero Lives, because it's not better than A Hero Lives. Let's be frank here, E-Call is not better than A Hero Lives. They serve different purposes, they are different cards. Technically, yes, both of them search out a hero card, but how do they search them? One adds it to the hand while one special summons to the field. One you have to pay 4,000 life points for, which is a cost. Both can get negated by Ash Blossoms or Omni Negates or Spell Trap Negates, but once again, the functionality is different. There are pros and cons to playing each card. This kind of goes into why you put them in your deck in the first place. Think for yourself. But I'm not gonna end it right there and saying that it's all personal preference, you can kind of do whatever you want. I'm going to reiterate why I think inside of Master Duel specifically that this card isn't good. In my comment reply, I stated that I feel like Plasma and A Hero Lives share very similar pros and cons inside of Master Duel. Both are very powerful cards, but I feel like as a meta call inside of a best of 1 format that you do not get to choose whether you go first or second, it is pretty much random. Like, yeah, if you win the coin flip, you can choose, but again, that is a 50-50 choice. So because the TCG and Master Duel are different formats, I do feel as if cards inside of both the card pools available inside of the TCG and Master Duel both serve different functions and have different strengths because of the formats. Like I said, if Master Duel becomes more like the TCG, then yeah, of course those same things transfer, but that's not the case. And at least from what I found personally, like I said, personal preference, A Hero Lives and Plasma might be very good in a vacuum, or also pretty good in the TCG where 2 out of 3 and sideboarding is available to you. But inside of Master Dueling, where there's no sideboarding and only best of 1s, these cards become much, much weaker. Plasma loses to Imperm, loses to Nibiru, loses to Forbidden Droplets. All of these cards are very prominent inside of these formats. It loses to cards that a lot of people are playing inside of going second strategies. And for A Hero Lives, it's not the same because it doesn't lose to Kaijus, it doesn't lose to Lava Golem. A Hero Lives, however, does not lose to the same cards as Plasma, but it's the same principle. Inside of the format, there are hard counters to A Hero Lives. And so, yeah, you're probably, like I said, at worst, trading 1 for 1 with the Hero Lives with things like Imperm, Valor, or Ash Blossom. It's also really only good in select scenarios, aka going first. If you are going second, you have to face up against Floodgates and Skill Drain and Omni Negates, Herald of Ultimus, Herald of the Arclight. There are so many prominent cards inside of the meta that A Hero Lives just isn't well equipped to handle, and that heroes in general aren't well equipped to handle. So if you're going second against these established boards, I feel as if A Hero Lives doesn't quite cut it. If you're going first with A Hero Lives, well, Here's the problem. Yeah, it's really good at setting up first turn boards because you have Dark Law and other hero shenanigans. But one, how high is the percentage of going first? And two, how high is the percentage of going first and having your board not ripped apart by Nyhmnim OTK? By not having it ripped apart by things like Grandmaju, which by the way, like I said in my response, are two very, very popular decks on ladder because it's a best of one format. I didn't think I needed to say these things in like a video format. I probably just needed to post it on there and pray that you guys could read. Now, Yu-Gi-Oh players can't read in general, so I understand it. And am I taking this as like a personal attack? Probably a little bit too personal, honestly. It's just that like, whenever you say things like, this is a horrific take, or I'm misleading players, I want to have that be backed up by something concrete. Because just saying the card is good and everyone thinks so is not a legitimate response. There has to be a reasoning behind why it's good, and that's just basic deck theory. That's literally looking at a meta and being like, how good is this card inside of the meta? And then you adjust your deck accordingly. And it does not take a scientist or a 5,000 IQ to see that inside of Master Duel, a best of one format that's different from the TCG, that there are decks and cards well equipped to handle a hero lives, which, by the way, you have to pay half your life points for. Sure, does it trade 1-for-1s? Yes. And sure, whenever it goes off, does it go off? 110%. It is a good card. But for me and my preferences and what I would advise, because inside of Master Duel, I don't feel like it's really good or fit for the meta. Tell me, what is a Hero Lives going to do against an Adamancipator board? Tell me, what is a Hero Lives going to do against Barrier Statue of the Stormwind? Tell me, what is a Hero Lives going to do against Skill Drain? Guys, I think that's all I have to say about a Hero Lives right now. I think into the TCG, yeah, it's pretty powerful, but heroes aren't really doing anything into the meta particularly well. And also inside of Master Duel, I feel like a Hero Lives is just not that great for all the reasons why I listed inside this video. What do you guys think of it? Let me know in the comment section down below. If you guys like this video, make sure to leave a like. If you want to see more from your boy, please consider subscribing. We're trying to hit 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year, all that good jazz. Thank you so much to everyone who has subscribed. It's been amazing doing live streams and making more videos. It's been a lot of fun, and I really appreciate you guys and hope that you guys are enjoying. Anyways, I will see you guys later. Peace out.